Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for being here and joining us for this weekly webinar. We've been having a lot of fun with these webinars. Today is entitled How to Find Your Zen. This has definitely been a very strange and unprecedented time, and I keep trying to find another word rather than using unprecedented because I think it's gotten overused, but I just can't find another good one that's appropriate. So anyway, we wanted to take some time today to talk about managing our self-care routines, both mental, physical, all the things, because it's so important, especially when we're in times like this, that we do check in and take care of ourselves as we're working from home or working remotely or going through different seasons that we just have never had to handle before. So as you come in, everybody is muted. We will have a chance at the end for some Q&A. And then if you have any questions or comments during the presentation, feel free to use that chat function at the bottom of your screen, type in questions, we'll be watching those. And then again, we'll open it up at the end for Q&A. This webinar is being recorded, so that will be available on our website probably later today in case you want to go back and rewatch it or share it with a friend. We would love that. Again, we're doing these webinars every single Wednesday at noon, so be sure and watch our Facebook page and our events calendar for those. I'm excited today for our panel. We have with us today Allison Heinrich from Allie & Co. Give us a wave, Allie. And Danny Almerode from CrossFit 3XF and 3XF Stanton, and Jason Boron from Leading Strong LLC. We talked to them about joining us today for How to Find Your Zen because they have three very different ways that you can do that during this time. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over. I believe Allison is going to start, and each of them will introduce themselves as they start. And then again, if you have questions, please put those in the chat. All right, Allison, take it away.
Okay, so hi guys. I am Allison Heinrich and I own Allie & Co. We are a trade school, a spa, and a retail boutique, but really we're focused on helping women right where they are in their journey for skincare. So what I was going to talk about today is, you hear a lot, we were just laughing about filters over our Zoom meetings. We hear a lot about look good, feel good. And I wanted to talk about how that's half the story, because a lot of times we can just look at how we look, but that's just, again, half the story. The other half is, why do people actually come to get services or come to the spa? And the reason that they come is because they want to unwind and they want that personal connection, and they start building these relationships, whether it's with their facialist, their hairstylist, their massage therapist. All of these industries are really built on relationships and connections and helping someone find a moment, just a moment. And so I really wanted to help you guys find this moment at home for yourself in a really, really simple way. So I'm going to do a demo because I am a demo girl and I like to see what's actually happening in order to recreate it. But I'm going to do it with a hot towel. The hot towel has been steeped in a peppermint tea. So if you have a peppermint tea at home, this is really, really easy. You just take the tea bag, you put it in a cup of water, and you put it in your microwave for 1 minute. Then you take a towel, you scrunch it up, and then you pour the tea over it and then take out any excess. It'll be a little hot in the beginning, so just let it sit before you touch it and don't burn your fingers. But if you don't have peppermint tea, you could use lavender or chamomile as well. All of these are really great teas because they're working with your body on helping it relax, reduce anxiety and stress, and they also speak to your muscles. So muscle soreness, headaches, these are great teas for that. So internally, take them great, but you can also use them externally, and that's what I love about them. Also, because I'm a skin person, I want to tell you about what it does for your skin. So they're antibacterial. If you're really feeling the need for more of that, all of these are antibacterial. They're wound healing, stimulating, they're antifungal. So they help with redness, blotchy patches. I don't know about you guys, but when I get overwhelmed, I start to get little blotchy patches, and I'll just make a towel and put it over my chest and it calms me down. But we're gonna start. I'm gonna take off my glasses so I can officially not see you. And I'm gonna show you just some movements that you can do to reduce stress and tension. So you just take your middle finger and your ring finger and you put them together and you place them right here in the middle of your forehead. If you only want to use one hand, you can. And we're gonna go 1, 2, 3. And move it up. 1, 2, 3. And move it up. 1, 2, 3. Then we'll move to the eyebrow. 1, 2, 3. Move it out. 1, 2, 3. Move it out. 1, 2, 3. And then up over those temples. You guys know how pressing on your temples feels so good. And 3 times out into the hairline. Then you take your palms and just cover your eyes for 10 seconds. What that does is it tells your body to calm down. So before you put on this hot towel, it's really important to walk through just a couple key steps that are going to help you calm down. So this towel will also ease any stress or anxiety. So once you've done that, and essential oil users, I love you guys. You can put your essential oils right on your towel or infuse those in water. You're just going to open your towel up. I guess I shouldn't do this with my glasses on. Yes, I'm going to do this. You place it on your chin and then you fold it over and fold it over. So it looks like this. You're gonna sit until that towel gets cold. And you can even press it in because again, like I said, this is good for your skin. Also, I would recommend closing your door, maybe even locking it if you have kids like mine who want to be around me every second of the day. And just letting everybody know, put a little sign on your door that says mom's unwind time, dad's unwind time, and just relax. If you don't have kids, you're lucky. They're not going to be banging on your door, but you know, you can just take that minute for yourself. And so that's what I wanted to share with you. It can be as simple as taking 2 to 3 minutes, doing some movements to just tell your body it's okay, and then applying something that talks to your senses and feelings as well to tell you that it's okay. That's all for me. I am going to pass it on to Jason, and Jason's going to talk to you more about super amazing stuff, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say, Jason.
Well, thank you, Allison. I appreciate the intro, and setting the standard at super amazing stuff scares me. So let's see if we can bring that down. No, actually, first I want to take a moment to recognize that COVID-19 has been a traumatic experience for all of us, and it's going to change the way that we live our lives moving forward. And so instead of trying to think about the new or the going back to normal and waiting for things to get back to normal, let's think about the opportunities that are being presented and what our new normal will look like. And most importantly, please give yourself and others grace during this time, because we need it. And when people get to see your background or get to see your children walking up and Zoom bombing you, you know, all of that kind of stuff, it's life. Let's just enjoy it as we're here. So I wanted to take a moment to give folks a frame of reference for my part of the conversation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. And have people heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Does that ring a bell for anybody? If not, Maslow was a psychologist, and he talked about all of us have a certain set of needs that we need to attend to. And you need to address the bottom of that triangle, the basic needs, before you can address your psychological needs and become the best self, ultimately self-actualized. And so that's a very brief overview of the psychology that is being presented in his hierarchy of needs. Now, when you think about today's events going on, those basic needs are things that are, I mean, people are looking for toilet paper. That's a basic need. And if you can't get that, it's really hard to focus on the other things. So make sure that you're attending to those safety needs and the psychological, your physiological well-being as well. So if you're struggling for rent or those kinds of things, obviously those need to take precedent. But I wanted to give this diagram for just to be able to keep that in mind as we're talking through the conversation today. And this is to take advantage of where we are in today's society. It's a great time to better connect with others and ourselves. And I wanted to focus on the ourselves part. And there's two strategies I'm going to talk about. One is mindfulness, and the second is focusing on your strengths. Now, mindfulness, when folks think of mindfulness, if you want to type into the chat component or the chat screen, what do you think of when you hear the word mindfulness? Let's see, being in the moment, intention, living in the moment. Awesome. So you all have heard of mindfulness, and that's really great. Being present, awareness, all of those are great. And when you are thinking about mindfulness, there is significant health and well-being benefits of being mindful. And when some folks practice it by doing meditation, and I would encourage you to explore meditation as a possibility. There are great apps out there. You can find meditation on YouTube as well if you search for meditation. But apps, Headspace and Calm, are the two that I think are out there that have, they have some free options as well as some pay options. So it gives you a variety there. But I want to make sure that what I'm talking about today is not, there's some options for paying and some for free, so that it runs the gamut of how you're approaching being mindful. The other piece is mindful walking. You know, A, walking is good for you, but B, getting out, walking around, paying attention to the grass under your feet or the concrete under your feet, hearing if there's pebbles between your shoes and the gravel, like hearing those kinds of things, paying attention to colors. How many colors do you see? Identify colors, every color that you see, like it's a green tree, blue sky, white clouds. All of those kinds of things can bring you into a very present moment. And then the other piece, and this is the one that I enjoy, and that all of these have been shown to be beneficial well-being, but it's one that I have used extensively, which is a mindfulness journey or mindfulness journal based on gratitude. Has anybody here done a gratitude journal before? Show of hands if we have. Okay, I saw a couple of hands pop up. Yes, and it changed my life. Susan, thank you. I appreciate you weighing in there. It's a very powerful exercise. And when I talk about what I want you to do is I want you to think for 30 seconds. I want you to identify 3 things for which you are thankful for or grateful for. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds to think about that, and then I'll continue my conversation. It's weird being quiet on Zoom, I have to say. But the piece is that thinking about 3 things for which you're thankful for every morning, and again at night if you want to, but doing that for 2 to 3 weeks can have months-long impact on your well-being. And so at first it can be a little awkward because you're trying to say, well, you know, I'm thankful for my kid, or I'm thankful for having a wonderful marriage, or those types of things. But it makes you think about all of the great things that are happening, especially in times like this. It can be really hard to think about the great things in our lives, but by dedicating time, and you're putting an importance, or you're labeling it as important, and you're able to say, yeah, these things are really great, and things are bad in the world, but not as bad as we think they are, and there's a lot of good there too. So those are some meditation, mindful walking, and a gratitude journal. I encourage you to practice those on a daily basis. That can make some significant improvement in your lives as well. Now, the second piece that I wanted to talk to you about was focusing on strengths. And when I say focusing on strengths, I'm talking about having the opportunity to do what you do best every day. Now, we all have strengths. We're all good at things. And you know what? There's some things that we're not good at too. We have weaknesses, and we're not saying avoid weaknesses, but we're talking about focus on what you do well. And the research is out there that says that when you have the ability to do what you do best every day, you're 6 times more likely to be engaged in your job, and you're 3 times more likely to report a higher sense of well-being. So we need to focus on what we do well, just from a health benefit. There are 2 things that specifically that I wanted to talk about. Why, you have one of those days when all those words get stuck in your mouth. By knowing our strengths, we're able to do 2 things. One, we can identify opportunities that help us grow during this time. It is easy to stagnate and sort of like buckle down and not want to do anything. But this is also a great time to look at opportunities, like I had said earlier. And the second thing is that each of our strengths has needs that come with them. And by knowing them, we'll know how to better support ourselves. And when I think about that, being an extrovert can be a strength. In this time, being an extrovert is really hard. So how the need for extroversion, the need to be able to engage with folks, how are you doing that? Are you going by and doing porch visits to folks to be able to connect and have conversations at a socially appropriate distance of 6 feet or more? Or are you practicing with Zoom or FaceTime? How are you getting that energy that you get with those folks? And you need to be able to take care of yourself in that way. So when I think about strengths, and this will get into the identify opportunities to help us grow during this time. Let me share another piece. So when I think about strengths are made up of talent and investment. So we have innate talents that we have in our life. We're born with them. We've grown up with them. Whether it's nature or nurture that came through to bring those talents into existence, they are there. What's great about that is you can learn some new skills, and you can gain some new knowledge or experiences that can even make those talents more useful and more effective. And so that talent times investment being that learning those new skills or experiences or knowledge, that can build those into really strong strengths. Now, when you think about, some of us know what our strengths are and some of us don't. One of the ways that you can identify that, or actually 2 of the ways you can identify that, there are 2 different assessments that you can take advantage of at the moment. There are more out there. These are 2 that I recommend. Once again, one free and one paid. I don't get money from this, so this is me. I think they're great. I'm a certified strengths coach through Gallup, but I don't get money from the apps or from the assessment that you take. But the VIA, which is, they looked at character strengths, and they look at strengths of character across the world, and they put together and they identified 24 different strengths that people all have that are all represented in people. It is a free assessment, and you can take that assessment at that www.viacharacter.org website. Very simple, less than 30 minutes to take that assessment, and it gives you a good basis or a good starting point for, you've identified what those talents are and those strengths there, and then you can figure out what skills and knowledge can you use to build on them. And the same goes for the Clifton Strengths Assessment, which identifies talent themes. It is a cost of $20. And you can go to the website there, clintonstrengths.com, to take that assessment. I encourage you to check that out as well. Now, I talked about learning a new skill. There's a lot of things that you can do to do that. I'm taking advantage of an app, and I'm teaching myself Spanish at the moment. I'm taking advantage of that. Surprisingly, my daughter, who's 6 years old, has enjoyed the opportunity to use an app called Spanish School Bus. And so she is learning Spanish herself. She inspired me to learn Spanish so that I can improve my communication skills. But she is also taking the opportunity to teach her grandparents Spanish, which is a riot. If you ever want to, I may film it and show people, but I don't know that I agree with her teaching methods, but I'm not her student at the moment. But she's having a blast doing that. And then finally, gaining that knowledge piece. I think there's some great ways to do that. I would highly recommend a book, because it allows you to unplug for the computer and be able to explore different genres, different things, different ways to look at things as well. I do facilitate a virtual book group every Thursday at noon, so you are more than welcome to join that. If you go to Facebook, it's the Stanton Innovation Hub Virtual Book Group. If you search for SIH Virtual Book Club, you will find that, as well as telling you what books we're reading. And we do, like I said, we meet once a month. But there are, even if you don't feel like connecting with folks over a book, I did want to suggest some books that would be some great developmental books as well for you, and I'll put those up on the screen. And then I will pass it up to Danny after I walk through these books real quick. Six books. I think that when you look at Insight by Tasha Eurich, really great. So there's 2 books on here that will give you exercises that you can do yourself and explore and develop yourself. Insight by Tasha Eurich and Designing Your Life. Those are great books to really dig into yourself and build your self-awareness, which is critical in our current situation. The Obstacle is the Way is one of the books that we're reading in our book group right now. And it is really about looking at obstacles and how can you work through those obstacles as opposed to see them as stopping you from progressing. Very insightful book based on Stoicism, ancient philosophy. Highly recommend it. It's a great book. Habits, the Atomic Habits book by James Clear. Really great, solid book about building strong habits. Habits are 40% of our daily activity is habitual. 40%. That's when you think about it, what's that, 4 to 6 hours of our time each day is habitual. How can we be more intentional about using that? I think Atomic Habits is a great way to do that. The Strengths Finder, which is the Clifton Strengths Assessment component, does have a book that comes with a code if you wanted to check that out as well. And then finally, Thrive by Ariana Huffington. Really great overview of ways you can take care of yourself, build upon what I've talked about from a meditation standpoint to other ways to be more healthy from a psychological and physiological piece. But it's a good basic entry point book for exploring those as well. And she poses some really good questions there. I was trying to give you some resources that you could use on your own, and I know that I've been talking for a while. I apologize, but so you have some books. We'll make sure that gets posted as well. Other than that, I'll be glad to answer any questions at the end. At this point, I will stop my share and I will turn it over to Danny.
A quick question. Do I have anybody in heels or a certain type of shoe in which it might be hard to do? I'm not going to get your heart rate up that much, but we just need to get off of our rear ends for a little bit to kind of get some mojo flowing. So any objections to getting up out of your seat for a second? Yes, that's what I like to hear. Okay. What I would like for you to do, get on up out of your chair. You'll push the chair in. You can stand right behind it, stand right off to the side of it. And I just want you to kind of swing your arms in front of your body and take it overhead. Doesn't necessarily need to be anything super fast. We're just kind of stretching out. And let's reach up to the sky. Both hands kind of alternate the hand that's pushing up. This one always makes me feel so tall. I love it. And it's hard to tell on video, but I'm not even 5 feet tall, but I feel like a giant when I do this. All right, let's go ahead and put our hands on our hips. Just want you to bend your knees just a little bit. And I want you to take that chest forward and send that butt back. And then come up. When you're doing this, you should feel a little bit of stretch in the back part of those legs. Yes. Next time, I just want you to squeeze your glutes, your butt muscles here at the top, but you don't get to use your hands. There you go. Okay, go ahead and do 2 more squeezes. All right, last thing I'm gonna have you do, separate those legs. And we're gonna open up our hips, get those hips a little bit of action, and we're just gonna drop our chest to the ground and then standing up tall. Making a big giant circle with our head. And let's go the other direction. And one more, then I'll let you sit again, I promise. Excellent. All right, come back to your screen so we can chat a little bit. All right, so my name is Dani Almroad. I am a coach and associate here at CrossFit 3XF and 3XF Stanton. I'm also the head nutrition coach. Prior to coming on staff at 3XF, I was an elementary health and physical education teacher. So with my kids being home, you would think that I would embrace the whole let's teach my kids. I still haven't bought into that yet. Yeah, I have teaching background, grad school at UVA. So the biggest thing that I'm going to be talking about today is a lot of us are sitting in front of our computers. If we're still working, we're on Zoom calls, we're on FaceTime, whatever the case may be. So it's important to incorporate some movement while you're doing that, or just take a quick break. Just the simple exercises we just did. It gets you out of your seat, it gets your blood flowing a little bit more. You will find that if you start to integrate those into your daily routine as you are possibly sitting in front of a computer for long periods of time, you're going to find yourself probably to be more productive. So physical activity raises so many good hormones in our system and also helps decrease the not so good ones that we're experiencing right now. So the more physical activity we can put into our daily routine, the better off we will be. That could be those simple exercises. That could be going out for a quick 10, 15, 20-minute walk. Jason talked about when you're walking, be mindful about, take in your surroundings. Unfortunately, I'm not necessarily able to do that because my walks always include my 2 little shadows, an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, who they're peppering questions every few minutes. Sometimes there's even a dog that I'm having to chase. But anyway, even just getting outside, it is what we call a mood changer or a state changer. Every time you get up from your seat, it's a state changer, it's a mood changer. Doing some simple stretches. The other thing, there are lots of apps out there, yoga apps. Yoga can be a very, very good way to help you find your zen, to help you stay active, and to help your muscles and your joints and ligaments and everything to stay nice and loose. That being said, you know, some of your daily tasks, if you start integrating some of the yoga workouts, going to the apps, your daily tasks might be less taxing. You're going to feel, you know, like you have more energy throughout the day as well. I am going to, real quick, Susan, she has a fitness band that goes off when she's idle for 15 minutes. And she said that's why she got it, just for that purpose. That is a great thing. Excuse me, I actually set alarms in my phone. So I actually first started doing this when I would do a lot of research and writing and whatnot when I was in grad school. I would set a timer on my phone that for every 30 minutes, I had to get up, take a 5-minute break, take a walk. Also, during that time, I made sure that I drank about 4 ounces of water for each of those breaks. Those little 4 ounces of water, yeah, you might have to, there goes Jason drinking his water. You might feel like you're taking more trips to the bathroom, but guess what? When you're getting up and moving and going to the bathroom, that's good for your system. That's, you're hitting the reset button. So that, yeah, using some kind of timer is definitely helpful. I also sometimes get into the bad habit of getting so zoned in on something that I'm working with, or, you know, something on the computer, that I forget to eat sometimes too. Also recently, there have been times in which I feel, I need a snack. And technically, probably I'm not hungry, but my body feels like I need a snack. So definitely be mindful when you're eating as well. Eat, you know, because I think we have a tendency to overindulge sometimes in these times. You know, yeah, it's been hard to get chicken. It's been hard to get eggs, and you're limited on all of that. However, the junk food aisle, the cereal aisle, that's never empty these days. So definitely be mindful on that. What did Melissa say? Starting making myself walk in place for at least 20 minutes during or every Zoom meeting. Excellent. Moving more just for fun. Yeah, so the more you're moving, the better it's going to be. I do want to also take, I'm going to share my screen in just a second because I want to talk about this snacking. This is a time where so somebody just may have eaten 3 ice cream sandwiches yesterday. So yeah, I want you to consider, Allison, I want you to consider about being mindful with your eating, not just during your meals. So technically, you should have probably 3 meals throughout the day. Now, the sizes of those meals really depend on your fitness level throughout the day. It also depends on your body type. If you're looking to lose weight, if you're looking to gain muscle, whatever the case may be. But those 5 meals throughout the day include a good breakfast, a balanced breakfast. I'll talk to you about balance when I show you an image of some snacks. But balancing your breakfast includes having some protein, having some carbs, and having some fat. So there are so many fad diets out there talking about low carb, keto, but the research basically says that a majority of people, yes, you will see amazing results if you start following a keto plan, but the chance of the weight coming back on, and sometimes even coming on more so than before, is exponentially high. So you want to really just stay away from fad diets. I know the ads pop up on Facebook all the time, you know, fat burning tool. Your best bet is to focus on whole foods. So that breakfast may look like 2 scrambled eggs, a slice of toast, and maybe some Greek yogurt with a little chia seed mixed in there, or, you know, 6 or 9 almonds or some type of nut. Now, I'm saying like 6 almonds. I'm not talking about a whole entire sleeve of almonds or can of almonds, because that's going to be way too much for what your body needs at this time, or actually ever. So you're having a breakfast, you're having a balanced snack mid-morning, you're having a balanced lunch. That lunch is going to start to include some veggies. Half of your plate should be some type of vegetable, some carrots, some spinach, a salad, and then another part of that plate for lunch and dinner will also be a lean protein. That's your chicken, your very lean ground turkey, things like that. And then the other portion, about a fourth of that plate, will be a healthy carb. Yes, it's okay to eat carbs. Those healthy starchy carbs are your brown rice, your sweet potatoes. There are so many good nutrients that come from sweet potatoes. So that has definitely been a go-to in our house, as well as lots of fruits and vegetables to help boost that immune system. So I'm going to check in with some of these comments because you all are lighting it up. I love it. So Chex-Mex for a snack. There's a bee-focused app. Uses the Pareto principle to track time and include breaks in my day. I'm loving that. Somebody is saying, I think Courtney's saying, she's actually been better with meals and snacking since she's been working from home and being able to cook more. So that is definitely a very good, for most of us, the excuse that we give of, I just don't have time to meal prep, I just don't have time to cook, is kind of out of the window at this point. You're spending more time at home, hopefully more time with the family. That's a time for you to, really search for different recipes. We use a lot of recipes at the gym through Healthy Steps Nutrition. So I would jot that down if I were you. Healthy Steps Nutrition. They are the nutrition program that we partner with. Their headquarters is full of registered dietitians. They help create meal plans for us for our, thank you, Courtney, meal plans for us, for our nutrition clients. And all of their recipes are free and online, and there's some good stuff. Healthy options that even my kids, I have not tried a Healthy Steps nutrition recipe yet that my kids don't eat. So if that doesn't sell you on their the quality of the recipes, I'm not so sure what would. The other thing, and I know I'm talking your ear off, so I want to talk about some healthy snacks. And here, when you think about snacking, I want you to think about, here we go. When you are feeling the need for a snack, first and foremost, I want you to really think, am I hungry or am I bored? Sometimes we're just kind of bored. We're right now set in a weird routine that we're not used to. We're not on the go as much. So definitely check with yourself beforehand. If you're hungry, if you're like, well, I'm not really sure, maybe just sip on some water. Get a good 8 ounces of water in. I call myself a water snob. I like putting fresh lemon or lemon juice in my water, and it has to have a lot of ice in it. It just makes it easier for me to drink. You can also use your snacks for balancing your energy. Has anyone ever come up with a midday slump? Yeah, so midday slumps are probably because we're eating larger meals throughout the day and not timing our meals, fewer larger meals, I should say, and not timing them every 2 to 3 hours. You should be eating something, whether it's a meal or a snack, every 2 to 3 hours. Make sure that when you're snacking that they're really snack sized. So like I said, not a whole canister of almonds, just 6. That's all you need. That's all the fat that your body needs right there. And yes, my friends, almonds, that's a source, it's primarily fat, not protein. That's a common misconception we have. So yes, while almonds are a healthy snack, it definitely needs to be in moderation, and it's considered one of your fats. So don't, if you are going to do your Chex-Mix as one of your snacks, put it in a small bowl. And tell yourself when you're done with that small bowl, you're done with that snack. Also, I like involving my kids. So my 5-year-old son is going to eat me out of house and home right now. So what we have decided to do for snacks in our family, my kids have a certain number of snacks that they can have throughout the day. And those snacks are portioned out. And they get to choose when they want those snacks. So yes, there are some fresh fruits in there, some berries, some strawberries. They also have the option of doing a Z bar, a Z protein bar. Those are kids protein bars to get good protein in their system. Yeah, we also will throw in there maybe 2 mini muffins or something, that it, caters to their taste, but they're only allowed a certain number of snacks throughout the day. It's also going to help with the grocery bill in the long run. Plan your snacks ahead. So like I said, have them planned out. Yes, I'm going to have some Chex Mix here for my snack in the afternoon. I'm going to have a half of an apple. I'm going to have 6 almonds, and I'm going to have a couple ounces of beef jerky. So you want those, we've talked about snacking mindfully. We want our snacks to be balanced. So the images you're seeing here, yes, while snacking on a half of an apple is a very, very healthy choice, we also want to make sure we're getting some protein and some fats in there. So here are, and I will be happy to send this on for reference later, a hard-boiled egg. You're going to get protein as well as fat from that hard-boiled egg, and then a cup of berries. So get some of those healthy carbs in there. Oikos 000 Greek yogurt is very, very good. There are no added sugars in there. Some of the yogurts out there, they market, light and fit, good for your diet, but a lot of them have added sugars. They also have some fats in there, more fat than we need. So make sure you're going for a non-fat Greek yogurt. The 000 Oikos, like I said, they have tons of different flavors, just a cup of that, and then if you add in, a little bit of berries and some nuts, you'd be good to go. Beef jerky is another good one, as well as some doing an apple rice cake with some slices of lunch meat. That has been our protein go-to. We always have some turkey in the fridge, also some low sodium ham. Turkey's the best one. Those would be very easy to go to. And then you can see the turkey, 2 slices of deli turkey, a little bit of an avocado, and a clementine. So make sure they're balanced. You got your carbs, fats, and your proteins, and just really focus on the mindfulness and not just snacking, but also when you're eating your meals. Stop eating when you're about 75% full, because there is that delay from the hormones from your stomach to your brain. So technically, that's why we overeat as a society, is because we eat too fast and we eat until we're full. Where you will find if you eat until, okay, I'm almost full, and then stop, within 10 to 15 minutes, you will feel satisfied. So that is all I have for you on the nutrition and the exercise side. We'll turn it back over to Courtney.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. That was really good information. And don't worry, we will send all these links out. And Danny, if you want to send me that handout you just showed us, we'll include that in the email as well. So much good information. My goodness, those could have each been their own webinar, I think. I want to go home and do the hot towel thing for sure and start reading all those books. And then I even like the tip where Danny has been portioning out the snacks for her kids. I think taking some of those ideas of those snack options and doing the same thing for myself will help me not over snack, but also remember to have a couple of good snacks in the afternoon or in the morning after a workout or a walk or something. So those are really good. Does anybody have any questions or comments or anything you want to share as we're wrapping up here? Feel free to unmute yourself if you do. All right. Well, we will be sure and send out all that information, all those those links and the book suggestions and all of that here in just a little bit. Again, this recording will be posted on our website, so you can go back and rewatch it. I think I would like to rewatch it for sure and write down some of those tips that I missed. And you can share it with a friend as well or coworker. We can't wait to see you guys again. We have another webinar coming up next week, which is with a couple of small business owners talking about how to disaster-proof your business. They've been through it. Nothing like this, obviously, but they have been through it and have come out on the other side. So I think it'll be really good information. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. We love our members. We're working hard for you to stay engaged and give you resources and education. And we just appreciate each of you so much. We hope you have an awesome afternoon.